You're watching Decoding Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Decoding Gaming. It's Sunday Mountain Sword of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Dawn Chorus, Jorgen's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! I let my subconsciousness work on that part. I've entered the corridor a few times but never got to its end. I think it's better that I don't know. This way the possibilities are endless. I can still wonder what's there. And there was a lot more on the outside. A park. And in it a purple lake, looking like jelly. I think I got an idea for that one from a game. I used to float on it in a canoe often, and try to compose music. It never worked out too well, but I don't think I have any talent for music. I think I wanted to try it because Miko was into it. Sounds like a neat thing to have, but also hard to create. I wonder if it could really be a useful tool for composing or otherwise. And if it wouldn't get in the way of enjoying the real world. I think I'd rather go for a walk and explore something than do it in my head. Yeah, I get it. I think there is some balance to it that's healthy. Life without fantasy would feel bland to me. True, that's what every book is. Maybe unless it's a phone book. But every book tells a story. Even if it's an encyclopedia, it's not only a book of facts, it's a documentation of our collective imagination, trying to catalog things natural and animal-made. And book or not, the mind always tries to put things into a narrative. We have the brains of storytellers, even if we tell the stories to ourselves only. Oh, this bat, he fascinates me. I miss chats like that. It's such a joy to hold not just anyone, but him in my arms. Do you want to tell me the dream with your grandpa? Maybe as we start heading for supper. Just let me wash my face. I need to wake up and make myself at least somewhat presentable. Play that banjo, Rune. My grandpa was sitting behind a glass pane. He was speaking to me, but I couldn't make out a word. I leaned towards Jorgen, sitting next to me, trying to hear him through the raised voices of the other students, chatting over their food. By the way, have you seen Lake anywhere? No, not since we split in the lobby. I thought he'd come for supper as soon as it started. Maybe he fell asleep, too. Do you think we should go check up on him? We can save him some food if he doesn't come soon, but I'm sure he'll be here for the film. The food today is nice, too. He'll like it. Maybe. I was so focused on the conversation that I barely registered the taste, or what I was eating for that matter. That doesn't happen to me often. What is this bat doing to me? But now that he mentions it, he's right. We have sandwiches again. Beetroot, horseradish, and rocket on rye bread, plus a small slice of pie with cashew cream. That sounds good. Oh, that cream is so good. It is. I have to look for recipes once we get back. Oh, the dream. Where were you? Oh, right. My grandpa was behind a pane of glass. I think it was a prison cell of some sorts, but I can't be sure. That was the impression I got. It felt raw, but brute. Do you know that's where the word brutalism comes from? From French brute, raw, not brutal. I'm not sure what that is. That's irrelevant, really. I just like brutalist architecture. So I was visiting him alone, and I wasn't a kid anymore. I'm not entirely sure how old I was then. Maybe 17? I had a feeling that he did something wrong, that he was ashamed from the way he was looking at me. But I didn't want to listen to what he had to say. I didn't care. I didn't even know him. I asked him. As my vision tinted red, I asked him the only question that mattered for me. Am I your grandson? Nothing. He only broke eye contact. I said, Am I your grandson? He clenched his jaw, falling silent. Seething fury consumed me. My voice reverberated in the tiny concrete space, anger building like ear-piercing feedback. Just fucking say something! No reply, only my ragged breathing broke the silence. Then, like a saw against bone, his chair scraped the concrete floor. He rose, reaching for a cord hanging from the ceiling. Click. And everything went black. Oh, that must have been distressing. I'm used to it. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Thanks, but it's not a had. I wake up to the same thing every day. Oh, right, sorry. Think back to yesterday morning when Jorgen raged against his family for refusing to accept him. That fire I heard in his voice must have had a long time to burn. It's fine. Things are different now. Back then, no one in my life made an effort to understand. These days I have people who try at least. I try to remind myself of that. It can be hard at times to remember that we're not alone. Well, I hope you haven't been feeling alone lately. Jorgen sighs and turns to the food in front of him, picking up a small piece of pie. You know, you can't cure loneliness overnight. But spending time here with you has felt nice, if that's what you're asking. I'm glad. I feel like I'm at the very threshold of that internal world of his. Much as I want to do more for him, I can't push him to open up, but maybe in time he'll invite me in. Oh. Jorgen pats my shoulder and rises from his seat. Be right back. Where you going? Off to ensure we watch at least a half-decent film. Huh. Film suggestions from someone who openly dislikes films. I turn to see him weave through the crowd of students on a direct path to Professor Arn? I guess he is in charge after all. Jorgen probably knows Arn better than Devon, too. Arn smiles warmly when Jorgen approaches. They seem to strike up a rather familiar conversation. It's funny. For someone who would probably loathe being called a teacher's pet, he acts a lot like one. I better not tell him that. After showing something to Arn on his phone, Jorgen returns and sits down next to me, close enough that our shoulders touch. Did you just get him to put something on? I did. Have you seen The Vector? Like the one with the robots and the simulation and... what's his name? The guy who plays Jan Vic? That's it. Why? Perhaps my explanation is best left for after the film, but I'll say this. The concept of waking up one day and realizing that something feels wrong and you don't quite understand it is painfully relatable. Ah, that makes sense. I mean, I haven't seen it, I just know the premise, but I get you. How did you convince him? At breakfast this morning, I overheard him and Devon struggling to choose a film and offered it as a recommendation. Turns out it happens to be a favorite of his. Go figure. Huh, that's lucky. Quite. I just had to remind him. Professor Arn is undeniably brilliant, but a touch absent-minded. I'll never forget the time he misplaced all of our exams. Oh no. Thankfully, his TA found them. Phew! The Vector, of all things. I thought some kind of art house film might be more his speed, or maybe a documentary. I wouldn't expect any affection for an action film from a stone-faced literary fiction lover like him. But perhaps that's on me for assuming I know more about him than he's told me. Or perhaps it's that he's starting to show me things that he hides behind that tough exterior. I keep getting lost trying to solve the puzzle, this puzzle that he is. Every time I look away, it's as if a new vision of him appears in front of me. I feel like I never quite know who I'm looking at. Will I ever know? What's the end goal here? How am I supposed to see every facet of him? Carvine, trying to stare into my soul, are we? Sorry, zoned out. You seem to do that a lot. Really? Yes, you look like there's something on your mind. Do I know the real you? Oh, I can't really articulate it. That's okay. Take your time. As if on cue, the lights bling out, and images flash across the projector screen. Oh, looks like you'll have plenty. Jorgen looks up at the screen, squints, and takes off his glasses to wipe out a smudge with his sleeve. Before putting them back on, he pulls his poncho up over his head and sets it beside him. He smirks when he catches me looking. The show's on the screen, Carvine. Sorry. As penance, I expect your thorough critical analysis to be ready at the end. I'll do my best. Jorgen laughs as his paw finds mine again. Thanks for playing along. Call transop received 030621 0420 rec log. Warning, anomaly detected. Retrieving. Oh, it's the Matrix. Encrypted data found. Attempting decryption. Decryption failed. Retrying. Error. Timeout. System failure. Huh. Oh, that was cool. And weird. And after zooming in between the M and F, we zoom past binary data to our protagonist, who subsequently transcends a literal binary existence by flying up into the sky. See my point? We step out of the cafeteria into the warmly lit corridor. Yeah, wow, it seems awfully heavy pawed now that you say it. I agree. There are some subtle references and details, sure, but it takes little insight to uncover the subtext if you're paying any attention. I won't claim it communicates the totality of any trans person's experience to the viewer, but it does enough to make one with the earliest inkling of questioning their gender feel valid in that line of inquiry. Speaking from experience? Somewhat. Come on. I'm still putting pieces together in my head as Jorgen leads me to the corridor. It's cliché by now, bringing up the topic of whether we're living in a simulation. But what that device aims at, that lingering elusive sense that your life isn't what it was meant to be, that feeling endures. I nearly trip trying not to bump into the bat as he stops in front of me. You alright? Fine, yeah. Why'd you stop? We still owe Rune a visit. I turned left to face the door to room number 6. Ah, right. I can take care of this if you've changed your mind. No, it's okay. I'm here. Go ahead. He knocks. Nothing. I don't hear anything. He must be elsewhere. Maybe the swimming pool? Perhaps. Regardless, I think it might be best to check in when he's in his room. Makes sense. What now, then? Fancy a spot of fresh air? Lead the way. Holy shit, it's cold. I step up onto the roof, rattled by the frigid wind. Jorgen follows close behind. Come here. He sits down and offers a paw, beckoning me towards him. His paw and mine attentively lower myself down, letting him rest his head on my shoulder and snuggle into me. Yesterday, the distant trees and mountaintops bathed in an ocean of pastels, but tonight, they stand indistinct. I call all cast in feathered, inky silhouettes, dark drops between the moonlit snowfields and deep blue sky. It's so pretty here. I thought you might have wanted to fetch your camera before coming up. I could have, but the light's tricky. Anyway, maybe with a tripod I might get a decent exposure or two, at least until the wind topples the whole thing over. Fair. I reckon the relatively low light pollution makes this an excellent location for astrophotography. Oh, for sure. Are you interested in it? No, but I can appreciate good work. It can serve as a nice visual reminder that I'm analyzing data about actual celestial bodies, not just amorphous masses of nothing. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!